hardest character to write was last season. Anybody watch Knights and Magic? One person. Okay. Really fun show. Basically just, it's one of the first times I've really enjoyed a Japanese citizen dies, goes to another world, is like reincarnated or something there, and like in like a fantasy world or something like that. It's one of the first time I've enjoyed those in a while. Knights and Magic. It's about this guy who in real life is just he loves giant robots and giant robot anime, and he loves building them. And he's hit by a car, and then he wakes up reincarnated as this like 6-year-old kid who still remembers his past life. And in this fantasy world, they have giant robots. They're like steampunk giant robots that like you really have to force these levers and these things in order to pilot them. And it also has magic. Knights and Magic. And so he was a programmer too in real life, and he figures out, spells are like programming, and figures out how like he becomes the youngest builder of these giant robots, and he goes on this grand adventure, and it's a gorgeous show. All the characters are really fun. The political intrigue and the war and everything that they go into later on is also like just really well written and a fun ride. But the main character, the kid, after he's reincarnated, he never shuts up. Especially about like he'll do that like if you watch Star Trek: The Next Generation or like any some like techno babble, it's always like just. So this giant robot uses these materials in order to create the power core. We call these the muscles. But over here, if I take this design and turn it into a crystalline structure and twist it, then it's just like, oh my God, shut up, kid, just do it. Because like his flaps, and he's always super high energy, really happy, and the flaps are always doing this. And he'll pause, and then he'll keep going, and then he'll pause, and then he'll. And the Japanese voice actress that was playing this little kid just goes on and is always really excited, and it's these long, uninterrupted things, and it's like the flaps are stopping, and so I'm just having to fill, and like the translation itself, if you compare it to the flaps are this long, translation's this long. And I was like, okay, well, I have to fill those flaps with something. Thanks, Jen. I have to fill those flaps with something that sounds remotely techno-babblish, that is, works with the world that we've established and is in character with him too. So I just had to come up with terms. I had to I looked up giant robot specs from other shows, found parts that are at least uniform across all those robots and those pieces, found out what they were, and then found out a way to reference those in the frickin' thing, just for it so he could sound like he knew what he was talking about. And I love that kid, but I want to strangle him. Dude, just shut up. Just build the robot and show off how cool it is. But it's a really fun show. And I also, took some liberties in terms of putting little pop culture references wherever I could. They're worked in, I'm really proud, so seamlessly that they fit perfectly within every scene, in the context of every scene they're in, and they don't break the fourth wall, but they're obvious references. So if you watch it, I try to put at least one in each episode, so go and look for them. I would love to see if you can find them all.